All right.
There she
Thank
goes.
you.
Cool. But I think, yeah, so basically we shouldn't be building duplicate components. That being said, the working group for GitLab UI is okay with what we've done right now. And they just wanted us to finish out the process and then fix it in the implementation phase.
Yeah.
But it's just a lesson to know in the future that instead of building out duplicate components, another duplicate component to replace the original, just to build it in place and deprecate the old component.
Yeah, so
I
pretty
guess
much
it's just a case by case.
So pretty much just make small iterations on the production live component and then introduce those changes into the product and then do another iteration. Is that kind of?
That's from what I understand. Yeah, they haven't technically decided on the best route to go. There are a lot of different proposals and they might choose a different one in the future. There was one that was having feature flags, but currently GitLab UI doesn't have feature flags as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
There was also another proposal that GitLab UI would break up each component into its separate package, and then GitLab UI would host all of those packages. And so people could then decide which package version of each component to use.
I think that get confusing real quick. That's just me.
I thought so too. And I think there are some people that had a better understanding of how that would work.
Oh, okay.
In the issue. But that was just another proposal. Yeah.
Are we blocked by any of those proposals being chosen as the direction we will go for or not?
I don't think so. The working group seemed to be fine with me going forward with just the iterative implementation in the production component.
Yeah, same here.
So what we'll do is that that merge request that I had made that updated the props and deprecated the old props, we'll probably move forward with that. The main point of concern was that we don't want to be taking a ton of time in the transition period. So we want to make the implementation as fast as possible in the entire application to switch over to the new props.
I do think that as we do not have to care about Haml button implementations, we are already in a better spot than last time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So, how do you, so the only, at least the consideration from my part is regarding our experience with the last one, which did edit all the Haml's things as well, is we already have separate, so the CSS that applies to the buttons, like the view component button that we built. If we like convert those styles towards the original button component, update that with the props, etc., all the things, will that have any effect like on the CSS and thus all the other buttons as well, or like can we?
No, it's going to be scoped down to just the GitLab UI button.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about components is they're isolated.
And the classes that the main class that we used is not existent in the GitLab application.
Yeah.
All right, this sounds good. So in a way, like this decreases our risks by a lot, like a super a lot. So I don't foresee so many problems, but do we have some plan on checking up on the existing button implementations currently in the app? Like, do we have a way to quickly, pass them through? Like, all right, does it look good? Does it look good? Or are we going to have a similar approach as last time, where we, let's put it in. Let's see what happens. See if a lot of negative feedback comes our way or not, right? Like that's a little bit of a
Yeah.
Good old user testing. Let us know if it broke.
Yeah. So like, do we have some kind of a plan to check up on like the effects of inside of the web application? Do we have some kind of a plan there, or is there a potential solution?
It's a good question.
I can
Go
tell
ahead,
you,
Peyton.
what I'm doing right now with a modal, hoping to finish up this milestone, is pretty much making changes to the modal, and then I have to grep the product, so the GitLab code base, and find all instances where it's been used. Then I had to check, oh, is this going to break? Let me go ahead and move this over, type deal. And then once that's done, then I have to update the code base with a new version, fix any issues there, and then they merge what I did on GitLab UI, and then it can roll out into the product. I don't know if that made any sense, but
that sounds good. So it's more like a manual process of stepping by each one. It would be so nice. I think this is where, for example, a tool like Selenium would be perfect, where you make the merge request and Selenium kind of like screenshots every button instance and just gives you a list of screenshots you can review. Like, does it look okay? I'm like, all right, everything looks okay. Let's merge it. Bam, let's merge.
Ooh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's one of the testing new features they're gonna implement. I feel like it's like it would be the ideal way, I think, to check upon like all button instances instead of having to navigate manually inside a GDK or something like that.
Gotcha.
Though I do think there will be only minor cases this time. But I would say like if there's an easy way of doing it, like that would be nice.
Yeah, I changed the complete API on the modal. From what I can remember, we maybe removed a few props from the API on the dropdown and added some. So I can't say 100%, but I don't foresee a lot of issues. I mean, I haven't got in there yet, just because we may be either appreciating a few things or adding a few things, like adding new ability. I don't know about Scott with the button. I think you said you did have to. Did you add anything, or you're just appreciating things? Well, I know you added the icon ability.
Yeah, and in this merge request, I was just deprecating things and switching the prop names. I took out the icon addition to make that in a separate follow-up.
Okay.
So this was just deprecating the old props in favor of the new ones. And so technically everything would still work as soon as the GitLab UI button is merged, or the GitLab UI version is merged into the GitLab app.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would have to go through each button and update how it's using the props.
Right. Yeah, so it kind of sounds like what I had to do with the modal, right?
Yeah.
That's a really slow process, especially with.
I don't know if we'd be able to go that far or in depth. As of when that issue discussing duplicating components was made, Winnie pointed out that the GL button was used in over 100 files.
Yeah, no, I think I had like 10 or 12.
Yeah, so I don't know if we have the ability to do that.
We'd be stuck for like a lot of milestones.
Yeah. What we could do instead is, I guess, somewhat of a blind update. I think that's the purpose of the iterative adding things into the production button.
Yeah.
We add it, make the change, switch all the buttons over to it. And then if it does break, we can just revert that switch back to the deprecated version,
That makes sense.
make fixes,
That
and
makes
then go forward again.
So can you give like a use case of like for the button, like how that would work?
For the button, so we are deprecating. Let's see, let me look here. My MR. I mean, theoretically, this should be a big deal, but let's say, so we're deprecating outline success as a prop, as a variant type, in favor of using a category, secondary, and then a variant success. So if by chance, so we switch all the buttons to use those proper category and variants instead. If by chance one of the buttons doesn't look good anymore in that state, really looking good anymore, I don't know if we would revert based on just that. What do you think, Dimitri? But anyway, so say we do decide we have to revert back, we revert all of the buttons. I don't know how to describe it in a better use case.
I got you. So
Yeah.
really small prop additions or prop removals and replacements. Merge it, update the version in GitLab, see if anything breaks. If it did, revert it or fix it, and then move on to the next small iteration.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And we have
so the see anything breaks, right? Like this is gonna be merge quest, and we're gonna ask each other for like, hey, does this look good? Like UX review and like code
we'll still
review.
do UX review and be
But the
as
thing
thorough
is,
as
like,
we can.
Like I want to. So my thoughts here are, I want to save you from having to manually screenshot every button and then paste it in, do it again every time. Like that's gonna be ridiculous. That's gonna
There's no way we can do it.
Yeah, that'd be impossible.
So it's gonna be more of a blind update. We'll probably be as thorough as we can and just check a bunch of buttons that we know as we go along.
Yeah. I mean, because we still have a lot of buttons that are non-GitLab, or I mean non-GitLab UI, right? Or do we not?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I come across like old components. Like I mean, you've seen like with the jQuery how we do a lot of drop downs right now. They aren't GitLab UI components.
Yeah, and those are the ones that are in HAML.
Yeah.
There are still buttons in Vue that we use we use just a normal button and then added classes to it, mostly because the Bootstrap button didn't work for that specific use case.
Okay.
I don't know how to fix that though.
Do we have potentially, so as this is going to be more of like a blind review, right? Which is all right, but perhaps to minimize risk, is there a way that, for example, because you're gonna look throughout the application, see like, all right, this passes, this all right, and you're gonna come across a few instances where something is breaking. I would consider these ones to be a little bit more special than all the other button instances. So I would say, all right, that has become one where there's an increase in risk because of external factors and how the button has been placed, positioned, implemented, etc. Could you say, like, all right, let's document these few examples where something did actually break. So these are the ones that we actually check against. So we have some kind of a check then I will manually go into a review app or something, and then we can at least do a check against that, and then it has been a conscious thing. Because if you now ask for a UX review, which will be blind, then what am I to do? Like nothing. And at the same time, there will be risk, which is all right. But I think like if there are cases where we can say, all right, these things broke, like those just broke. We consider them high risk. Let's at least check against these in a way.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, and I can't remember. I think I heard Tim talk about this one time in the front end UX meeting, but like I guess we can't have the ability to do snapshot testing right now in the is that right, Dimitri?
Yeah, I think there is some kind of like a snapshot testing thing implemented, but I have no knowledge about it except from that I thought something was there. But I do know that Selenium, which is a new testing suite that we're gonna implement as a feature for GitLab, similar to, code quality, whatever.
Oh, okay.
That is gonna do something like that. I believe there's something already that kind of like does something like that, or was it like a proof of concept in the past? I'm not sure.
Because I mean, that would be ideal, right? To just say,
that would be ideal.
Yeah. Yeah, we just say, okay, your snapshot failed. This is what the button is supposed to look like, but this is what it looks like, so don't merge. Okay, well, I feel better about what we have to do. It's just going to be, quite the process right now.
Yeah. Paul on that issue, part of the working group brought up a good way to handle this migration over. He said that after we merge like a new iteration is create follow-up issues that put us on a deadline to migrate over. So he said, like, for example, we have two follow-up issues. One is a migration issue that says, hey, in 3 weeks, we should have migrated all of the legacy components to this new version.
Is that including Haml or just the view?
No, just the view, yeah. And then in 3 weeks after that, after all the new ones are migrated over, we should have removed all the deprecated versions from the GitLab UI.
So keep the two. This is in reference to having the two separate components in GitLab UI.
No, this is in reference to when we change out props, for example, we're still going to have the ability to use old props. They're just deprecated. So when you use it, it's going to do a console log out saying, hey, this is deprecated, use this instead.
Oh.
And part of that deprecation is just that's the common practice in the industry is when you deprecate something, you have a deadline of like, hey, this is going to be completely null in the future.
So like, hey, hurry up and fix your stuff.
Yeah. And so the goal is to have 3 weeks or whatever the timeline is to migrate completely over to the new one, give the developers the time to see the change, see the deprecation, and adjust how they develop.
Yeah, I was thinking depreciate the entire time.
No, you're fine. Yeah. Depreciate's also a good word, I guess.
I was like, okay.
It loses value.
Yeah, okay. I'm on the same page now. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So as a suggestion there, we do have the epic. I posted it in the agenda. We can set a fixed date as a start date and a due date on it. Would you be comfortable with putting that in right now, or is that too early? You need some more discussion as to
I think we should do that. I don't know. I think it would be better to do it for each iterative merge request on the implementation button. So every time we iterate on the original button component, so say we add the new props, then we do the follow-up issues for just changing the props or something like that. And we can do it. We don't have to wait like 6 weeks before we update the styles of every button either. So I think it'd be a quicker schedule. I think
it's more like, I would say that the due date is more as to like, all right, this is our aspirational date where everything is finished, instead of like that we say, all right, we're going to push it forward and forward and forward, and it keeps baby steps going past as like an aspirational date. Then at least we can track, did we actually do as we said, or is there something that, you know, that blocked us, and we can in a way say, all right, this is the thing that blocked us, let's improve that on the future, right?
Yeah. So when you were saying it's let's say we make a deadline for this epic, which is fine, we can do that now. Are you wanting it to be including removing deprecated things in the original button?
I would say so. I would say so, yes.
Okay. Because that will probably push the deadline back a little more, because we want to give developers room to adapt to the new version.
Oh, in that sense, I thought I thought with deprecating, it would just be removing any notion from GitLab UI.
No.
Or is that the same thing?
Well, deprecating it is notifying the developer that it will be removed, and then you give them a timeline of when it's going to be removed completely.
Okay, so it's like there's one thing that like brings the props to the old button component, basically merging the two, and then the second period will be removing the old props so that all the old button implementations need to be adjusted.
Correct.
That was very well said. Yeah.
Thank you. What do you say? Like, what do you want? I'm fine with both. We can set an aspirational date to merging, which is basically brings us up to the point there where the new developed stuff is fully active to some extent, but it has not converted all the others, right? It has not fully been. I rather consider the latter part, as we might have a little bit more time to push the implementation merging part as well.
I don't want us to be relying on a later deadline and just taking our time doing the implementation part. But I'd also don't want us to finish the implementation part and technically have all the GitLab components updated to the new version, and then not have removed the deprecated stuff.
Gotcha. All right, let's go for that then. What date would you say, which kind of aligns with a milestone to some extent?
I'll probably say 12/7/19. Saturday, tomorrow. No, I don't know.
The 18th of December will be the start of the next milestone, right? So then another milestone after will be 18th of January. Is that all right, or is that
that's probably a little too soon?
Yeah.
Let's go the February one.
All right, 18th of February. That sounds good.
Yeah, because I also don't know I don't know. I mean, I remember Daniel saying yesterday about, some type of change or figuring out what we wanted, what route we're going for the next milestones, what we're working on. I just worry about high priority direction issues come in and, hey, get this done, and not having enough time to dedicate to that. But hopefully 2 milestones we'll be able to, get some good headway and hopefully get it done.
Sounds good. Who's your engineering manager again? I'm just putting in a comment.
Daniel Cipoletti. I think I pronounced that right.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't think he's ever said it to me.
It's an Italian last name, Cipoletti, I believe. Yeah.
It aspires to complete the implementation phase. Buttons, including merging the button button new into GitLab button new, is it right? GitLab button new.
Yeah, or new
button. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know.
new dash GL dash button.
It's probably GL-new-button or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the new one. It's got the new tag.
Replacing, updating existing instances. All right, cheers. That sounds good. I think we're 2 minutes over time. There's a small thing I would like to discuss, which is something for after that, which is the improvements phase, which I think relies on how we, battle our way through this implementation phase. Because, for example, we would love to update a color to make it align with our accessibility standards. There's like such small improvements that will be really easy now that we've actually developed the button, and we'll see how this goes. There will be after, so I'll be asking, I won't be asking anything for that while we're in the implementation phase, but when it's finished, I would love to bring those to your attention. And the last thing, I believe you already answered for the build phase, if you have no comments on the improvements phase, is that we need to update the documentation so we can close the OKR issue, which I will be very happy with.
Yeah. I put in the issue that I'm hoping to get the merge request in by Tuesday. So I don't think it'll be too bad, but then again, I haven't really worked in the pajamas repo yet.
It should be pretty easy, I think. But,
yeah.
My only concern was the thing I told you yesterday, Scott, about.
Yeah, Peyton had concerns that because the pajamas repo kind of mirrors the GitLab UI repo, and so he had concerns about being able to use the new button inside that button's component.
Yeah, because right now it mirrors the old button, not the one that Scott developed, or the new dropdown that I developed. It mirrors the old one, because I just did the skeleton loader one, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It just pulls it straight over.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just one SSOT which you manage in GitLab UI. I thought it was going to be a case of simply saying, all right, this component page in pajamas now references the new button, and then when we did do the implementation phase correctly, we just pointed back to the original button, which should be a minor.
I hope that's the way it's structured. If so, that's easy.
And we should make it really clear that that we're in that effort, and this just points towards a new UI component because it aligns with the button documentation, the design documentation. Like it was part of the OKR issue, so if we can align with that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I just need to make it clear in the docs that they should still be using the normal GL button for now.
Exactly.
I mean, forever.
Yeah, because otherwise we have a similar effort, which I think would be harder to argument as to like why we cannot refer to the new button component. And then we need to explain that whole story instead of just, all right, this aligns with that, but for now, please use this because we're in the implementation.
Yeah, what you should do is put a big rainbow banner with like unicorns flying and saying, do not
use this. Yeah.
If you can implement that, I'm going to approve it for sure.
Nice.
All right, cheers. We're fully aligned. I have no more questions.
All right, me either.
Yeah, thanks for meeting.
Yep, we'll see you guys.